All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of TnT Knows It All Sports. Ty McGrath over here with my man.
Thomas, what's going on, guys? How you doing? It's late evening here.
I had to give you guys your fix. I gotta give you your sports fix this week.
Right.
Um, yeah, we have a short episode this week. Today is Tuesday, June 6th, and we are going to discuss the NBA Finals. We also have a final take, but we can just get right into it. Really, right now, it is game three is tomorrow. The NBA Finals is the Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets for people that are not on this planet watching sports right now. The last episode we had was game seven. Game six had just happened. Boston had won game six on a last second shot. Miami had to go into Boston game seven. You know, you would think that Boston would have won, but Miami is I don't know, they're just built different.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
and so they were able to figure out a way to not only win game seven, but blow out Boston game seven, which set up this matchup. Game one, Denver won. What was the score? I don't know, 103-94 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it was, yeah. You
Or
talking about
one,
game one, right? Yeah, 90, yeah, hold on.
yeah.
I was double check, but yeah, it was yep, it is.
Yep. And Jokic had like a triple double, 27 points, 14 assists, 11, And all I heard all week, this is why I couldn't wait to do this, Thomas. All I heard all week was, Jokic, what can Miami do? They can't stop it. Jokic is the greatest player of all time. And look at all the points he's given up. And Denver is unstoppable. And whoa, this series is over. And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I was like, did Denver score 145 points? I must have been mistaken. I'm watching the game. I was like, did they score 120 points? They scored 104 points. I'm like, I think they won this game because Miami didn't shoot the ball well and they
Right.
played good defense, which is nothing wrong with that. But I didn't hear anybody talking about that. And Miami had a lot of open shots and they were missing. So what happened game two? Miami said, okay, you know what? We're gonna make Jokic a score, quote unquote, even I don't like that narrative. And Denver actually shot the ball better from the field. They scored more points than they did game two. I mean, game one, they had 108 points. But the difference was Miami hit the same, got the same exact shots they got game one. And this time, because it's law of averages, and this is what they've been doing all playoffs, they hit those shots.
Right.
Well, instead of scoring 94 points or whatever, they scored 111 points and they won 111 to 108. And I just, I'm giving this breakdown because I'm just really, really annoyed with the lazy NBA coverage. I'm like, these are supposed to be experts out here, and they're like, man, Denver's gonna have to figure out, man, their offense is, they're gonna have to figure out those are the guys gonna have to hit shots and they're gonna have to shoot better. I'm like, what are you guys watching? They shot like 50, 54% from the field. They shot 40 some percent from the field game one. Like,
Right.
whoa, they were more efficient offensively. They lost because they couldn't defend. They couldn't stop Miami. Miami made it difficult for them to score, but they didn't stop them. So Denver's gonna have to figure something out. I picked I was backed in the corner and I picked Denver to win this series in six. I do not feel good about it. I put that on the record. I believe that Miami is the best team in the playoffs. Team. Didn't mean individual players. Team. Those guys are on a string. And that you can't teach. I don't care about talent because Denver's got more talent. But
Right.
Miami, man, like as a Knicks fan, I talked about it last series with Boston. I was like, I don't know, man. something about Miami and watching as a Knicks fan is very frustrating because I feel like the Knicks have more talent, but Miami plays the game better than you do. Like they know how to play basketball. Well, I say that everyone else does, but they play as one. So I don't know. What are your thoughts so far about these finals? I even
I still think it's gonna be four. I said 4-2 Denver. I still think it's Denver.
mhm,
So, I mean, basketball is such an interesting sport.
mhm.
We talk about that. Basketball, it's not, you can't put five of the best players together and then, expect to win rings, right? You can
Yeah.
even ask LeBron that question. Because, he should, all the super teams he was on, or all the super teams we saw in the past, like you think about Harden, Westbrook, Durant. I'm just giving you super teams that just happened. So in basketball you need team. Team is the key, right?
Hmm.
X's and O's, play defense, everything like that. And I agree with you, Miami. And this is with a hurt Miami team. Can you imagine they were healthy? My Miami team with a hurt Miami team doing well. But I just and then also experience as much. First off, people forget Denver didn't win a playoff series. So, all right, so then they go from winning a playoff series to the finals,
Yeah.
and you're like, well, they have talent. That is different when you have all the lights on you and you're the only series being played, and the media's covering you and different like that. Ask Michael Porter Jr., who's not having a great series this year. 14 points, he's averaging 14 points,
Right.
eight rebounds, getting paid like he's supposed to average more than that. He's looking like Jalen Brown from last series, right? And that's what
Yeah.
Miami does. That's why their defense is so good. They
Yes.
know how to make star players. Except you can't guard Jokic. I'm sorry, he is that person you have play open gym with. If Jokic was an open gym, people might not pick him, right? You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't look like a ball player. He's
Right.
no muscle definition, but he is just coordinated to do well. Jamal Murray's playing okay, but it's just you play defense, frustrated. And Miami's like that damn mosquito that you try to hit in your backyard, and it keeps on buzzing around you. That's where Miami is. But at the end of the day, I just think Denver's talent is going to overcome it because as good of a coach as Eric is, right? The problem is that do you have enough fuel in the tank to go all? I mean, they've had a lot of tough, even the Knicks series, a lot of close, tough games. And
Mhm.
Miami's like what 14-8 or some stat. I look at it when less than 3 or 4 point games, right? So it's not that bad, but it is just tough. But also, how Jamal Murray, Jamal Murray is going to go off. He's at least 2 games.
Mhm.
And that's where I just think I don't know if Miami has the answer for him. He's playing, like I just feel like he's just gonna start playing basketball. He played good in the first round, but his first game, the second game, I don't think he was in. I don't know if he's nervous. He's Canadian, you know how those Canadians are. So I don't know because they're like very bright lights, but he's gonna do well. I'm just actually looking at stats. He had 18 points, but he shot 3 for 8 from 3 point land. He's just I think he's gonna come back.
He didn't play. He was at 7 for 15.
Yeah, seven. I mean, but he shot.
He
Yeah,
shot 15 times. I mean,
yeah,
that's really good. He's got
yeah.
to shoot more.
Yeah,
But
Michael Porter shot 8 times. Forgot about I forgot he was even on the court when I watched last game. And I'm still confused. What another thing that coaches piss me off, and this is what some teams do. My last point, I'll give it to you. Why do you only play limited bench? Like when you have I just don't understand these talented teams. They always go to a smaller bench because they want to keep their star players on the whole time. And I don't get it. I think Miami had, I mean, not Miami, Denver played 3 players on the bench. I got to look it up. I
yeah,
think it was like yeah, it was 3 players on the
yeah,
bench. And
that's
one
what.
of them played 27 minutes. Was that?
Which is Bruce Brown. Yeah, they
Yeah.
they play Chris Brown. Is that Chris Brown?
Yeah, Chris Brown. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they play him in the first half, and then they don't play him in the second half, and I don't get it. And he played really well in that first half. So I was like, why would you not play him in the second half? Like, I'm confused here. Why he's not getting any burn? Like, it's not making any sense to me.
I,
But
I,
I'm with you. I
yeah.
don't. Who are we, right? What do we know?
I mean, Reggie Jackson, I forgot he was on the team. Like, I mean, I get
Yeah,
he hasn't played really this playoffs, but
right.
I mean, you know, like it's like I'm actually looking at the last time he played was the Lakers on the 18th of May. So
Yeah,
3 minutes, but it's these teams they just want to put their star power together and just like I don't know. I hope this is what the what was it, Oklahoma? I forgot what year it was, but this is what they did too. They had all that talent on the bench. They had some people on the bench, and they just shrink the bench. Want to
Mhm.
play three. You know who's famous for that? As a Rockets fan, D'Antoni. Same thing. Like, bro, start using your bench. And in Miami, they're using everybody.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, Udonis Haslem almost probably got playing time last game. You know, I mean, they're about to play. I mean, they have to. I get it. You know, and that's where as a coach, where you have to, because
It's smart though. Like you
yeah,
said, it gives different looks. Like they're like, we'll start Kevin Love, but we know we're not gonna play him that many minutes. Like he got 22 minutes. That's plenty because now I can put in Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin. So I'm giving you all these different looks, a different kind of. They play differently. Like the Heat can play very very different. Like
right.
they're like, okay, we start the game with like Max Strus going out here and taking a bunch of shots. And then Kyle Lowry's going to come in. He's going to push the tempo. So we're going to play way faster. And now then Duncan Robinson comes out there. We're going to actually run plays with Duncan Robinson. Oh, yeah, by the way, we have Jimmy Butler too. So when you think we're running all this stuff, we give the ball to Jimmy in isolation. And then, oh, by the way, we can do pocket passes with Bam. I mean, that's why you look at their scoring: 21 points for Jimmy, 21 points for Bam, 23 points for
Well, Bam's having a great
Vincent.
series. Yeah,
Huh? Bam, yeah, he is having a really good series. Strus 14, Duncan Robinson 10, Lowry 9. They just have versatility in the way they can score.
right.
Versus Denver, they had 41 from Jokic, 18 from Murray, 12 from Gordon.
Well, I mean, the key is Porter has to. I mean, the dude, if Porter doesn't play well, I mean, because
Yeah.
you got to remember, Jimmy is a great. Their defense is going to suffocate. I mean, Joker's going to do well.
Right.
Murray played well the first game, but I mean, they're going to try. Porter has to play. Porter to me is the mismatch. I mean, besides Jokic, I don't know who's guarding him. Like I mean, Kevin Love can't get on him. He's 6'10" with a jumper, and
Right.
I don't know, he just looks really bad.
Yeah. I think, um, like I was telling everyone before, and two things to mention. One, people and I said it before, people like the bandwagon or the big teams, and they're like, oh, since Denver swept the Lakers, that means they're going to sweep the Heat? Like,
Oh, yeah.
no. The Lakers, and and you saw, as avid fans have been watching us, I picked the Lakers to win the first round. I didn't pick them to beat the Warriors, but I'm not shocked because I thought the Warriors shouldn't even probably shouldn't even got past the first round themselves. That, like I said, I'll repeat it again. Watching the Lakers play the Warriors was like watching a JV team in comparison to watching the Nuggets play the Suns. Those guys were playing NBA playoff basketball, not the other series. So I was like, the Nuggets, there was zero chance the Lakers had to win that series. Zero. Now, should they got swept? Probably could have won a game. But who cares? They weren't going to win. There was no chance they were going to win. None. Zero. None. I said before
Right.
this series, Miami has a chance to win this series because Denver has not played a team like this. Now, has Miami played a team like Denver? No, but they played teams close. People think
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they're like, Denver's so great. This is just another level for Miami. Okay, so Boston are bums now? They were the favorites, weren't they? The
Yeah, they were
Bucks?
favored in the Super Bowl. I mean, win the NBA Finals.
Milwaukee, they're bums too. Oh well, Giannis was hurt. He sure was, but he played 3 games.
Right.
He lost all 3 of those games he played. So I'm confused. And they're like, well, man, Denver's too big. Nobody's bigger than the Bucks. No one. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm confused by all this narrative, and I'm still hearing it, and I hate Miami. So it's not even like I want to defend them. I don't like them. So I would be happy for them to lose the series, but it's still basketball, and I'm I just think they should get the respect that they deserve. The series is going at least 6 games. I said from before, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, it's at least six, at least. If it's six, I think Denver has a chance. If it goes seven, it sounds crazy. I would pick if it's a 7 game in Denver. I'm picking the Heat to win. I would
Oh
not.
wow.
They win 3 games. They're winning Game 7. Who could you think about it? Who would you want to trust more in this playoff? What team could you trust more than the Heat? Like
Yeah,
they
I mean,
don't lose the game. When have you watched the Heat and be like, man, the Heat just lost this game? They don't do that. Like game one
yeah,
was the worst game they played all playoffs. You knew they were gonna come back. I bet money on that game too. That was a lock of the century. I was like +9. Cash out, buddy. Cash out. you know, like come on.
and it's funny because they barely made the playoffs.
I know. I know.
It's like they're going to be the freaking Giants with Eli.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
year they
are.
won a Super Bowl.
Yep. Yep. They were like last second make it and get
Yeah,
in there.
and
So
beat the Toronto Patriots.
so you think so I think
Six,
I
I think six. Denver.
yeah, I mean that was my initial pick. I don't I don't feel good about it, man. I kind of want to pick the Heat. I, I I just see it like, and it has nothing to do with Denver. Honestly, I think Denver's a good team. I actually respect them a lot, which is why I think they that's why I picked them. But I don't know, man. I know they're gonna split in these next two. So um so I think it's gonna go back 2-2 and at least a split. And then I think game 5 is gonna be a series. Miami wins it. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean Miami is actually really good at home too. So Denver's gonna.
Yep.
I mean, Denver lose game 2. Oof. I mean, game 3. If they lose but they lost game 2. Lose game 3, kind of, because that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be in a hole with
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah. They
And
got
Boston,
yeah.
Boston learned that. Boston. I mean, I'm not trying to go back in history, but Boston blew that series. Like Miami won that, but
One.
Boston really.
Game 1 of the Boston Miami series was the series. You
Yeah.
can't be up by whatever they were, 18 points. They got outscored by 25 points in the third quarter, 45-20. You can't have that happen. A 45-point quarter.
Right, right.
Like
Yeah,
it's
and you're one of the best defending teams in the game. Yeah,
45. I mean, that was
yeah.
insane to watch. And no timeout, by the way. Not one timeout was called during that run. Not one. I never
Yeah,
seen it.
they were. No, yeah, it gave me flashbacks. Mike D'Antoni. I mean, going back to flashback. Like call a timeout, but yeah, and that's what you want to do with Denver. Denver is like Denver. I'm sorry. Well, Denver doesn't want to do that with Miami. You do not want to be down 2-1,
Mm-hmm.
and that means that you have to win three. Three.
Five, yeah. I know. 4 games. Yeah, 3 in there, 4.
Is
Yeah. One last thing. So that fourth quarter where, Mike Malone was like, hey, these guys didn't have any effort, that's BS. They Miami runs complicated stuff. They get open. Every team they played in the playoff, they've got open shots. So you can be disciplined all you want, but they run different things. They'll look the exact same thing, and you instead of screening, they split the screen, they screen, they dive to the corner, they cut to the basket. Like it's hard to play them.
well coached.
Yeah,
They're
exactly. And
and that's what happens when you don't have too many superstars, man. They're gonna play
right,
harder.
yep. And the other thing is another one quick thing, just so I can give my facts, is the fourth quarter, and they were saying, oh, the Heat won't be able to play zone because Jokic is such a great passer. Well, they played zone. 2 straight fourth quarters, they've outplayed them and they played zone. And you know what? People don't understand that zone can be versatile too. It's
Yeah.
not just a 2-3 zone. I'm just gonna stand there and allow Jokic to get the ball and move on him.
Matchup zones. You got
Yep.
matchup. Yeah.
They're playing basically a box and one. And so they got a guy that's fronting Jokic at the free throw line. and then everybody else is zoning it up. So he's not getting the ball easily. And also, what that does is it stops that pick and roll with him and Murray, which is deadly, and that's literally can't be stopped. So Miami's kind of, and I know they say, well, Jokic has seen everything. But I'm like, but that's your best offense. Like, no one can stop that. The other stuff you do is pretty decent, but it isn't as good as your best, right? It's like
Yeah.
third, fourth best.
Hence, if Porter does something, I think
Yeah.
again the key then that opens up because if you shoot 1 for 8 again from 3-point line, whatever the hell you're shooting,
Yeah.
I mean that's and you get paid 108 with 80 million too. You need a a lot of players gonna be getting their checks back. They need to start giving their checks back. So, but it should like I said, the NBA wants Miami to win, of course. It's Cinderella. I would admit,
I'm
huh?
not sure if I can
Who
agree.
wants Denver? Who wants
I
Denver to win?
love Jokic, man. Jokic, don't forget, he's the hope. All right, he is the hope.
No,
So
Luca, I think is, but yeah, I
but
mean,
they love you, man. Every time oh my God, did you see that play? Did you see that? He went full court. Oh, I'm like, yo, look, I'm not. Jokic can ball. That guy is really good. Like he's top two, three players in the league, but he's not invincible. Like
yeah,
he was a minus 11 with 41 points on the plus minus. That tells you know why? Because he can't defend.
no,
So,
I mean, he's one of the worst. I mean, defenders.
like, all right,
Like
score
he's
all
just
you want, but we're scoring on the other end. That's why Bam, all of a sudden, who couldn't play in the last two series,
like,
basically he averaged with 19 points or 18 points, is looking like he's
Dwight Howard in the Orlando days, bro.
right. Exactly. All of a sudden now, Bam is killing, scoring 20 some points a game. He doesn't do that. Well, he can in this series. He's like, I got this guy on me. That's all day. So
Look, yeah, that's because I mean, he's a two-time MVP.
yeah,
Could have been,
yeah, he's
so.
great. Great play. I like Jokic. He's a great player.
Plus,
I like watching him play.
plus it's Denver. Like, or maybe the NBA might want them. I would say Miami could Cinderella, but they might want Denver because Denver. I mean, has Denver ever won a ring? I'm trying to think. Never,
Oh,
right? Yeah.
never been. No, no, they never been. This is the first time they're in the finals in the NBA. They were the last time they were
Oh
finals.
yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah.
Never been to the finals before.
Oh yeah, you're right. There because it was the old ABA team, right? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the
76.
Kings. Just like
Yes.
the Kings.
So,
Good old Rochester. Yeah.
yeah.
Actually, that is true. Shit, you're right.
Yep.
Zero champions, first one.
Yep. So that's so. I mean, it'd be nice for them. I mean, I like the team. I like them when they're in the bubble. I'm a big Jamal Murray fan. I've been saying, I've been talking about him. I've been impressed with him all year. Remember, I came in here and said, look, actually, I didn't. I can understand why people didn't trust him, but I do now. And the reason why I trust them is their defense, and that's what I said. It's their defense is the reason why they're there now, not their offense. It's their defense. They better play. They better figure out how to even amp that up another level, or they're not winning the series. I'm telling you now, it's on record. Denver better play better defense, or they are not winning this series. And they're playing good defense. They better play better defense, or they're
Oh,
not winning. Because Miami's going to get good shots.
I
So,
mean, you're right. I mean,
yep.
you're not going to get no good defense out of Jokic, better. But,
That's
I
true.
mean,
But
yeah.
figure it
So,
out. Anyway, so it's been a good series. We want to get our take. Looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday, is game 3. Game 4 is on Friday. And then game 5 is Monday night. That's gonna be these next 2 games will be pretty good. It'll be cool seeing in Miami. But game
hold
5,
on, I thought game is Monday night game 5.
yeah,
I thought I thought they had a game Friday.
they do. Wednesday, Friday, and then
Oh, you're okay. This Wednesday, my bad. Okay,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, because Wednesday, I think we're I think all the fellows are in the neighborhood are gonna hang out, like just smoke some cigars, drink, watch the game at somebody's backyard.
Yeah, gotta enjoy this while we can, man. This is the
Uh,
last bit of basketball before summer league and the draft. So
right. Yeah, and then or yeah, true. Because once the NBA, then you got training camp. Nobody really cares about it, just in baseball, which been boring. We'll talk about baseball, anything, but like it's
Yeah,
not the most exciting season so far. Especially as a Yankee fan, but
yeah, I know.
disappointing.
So yeah, so that's that for the NBA Finals, and we can have our final thought. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go first. So, so many things. I'm gonna stick to football. To we do get people that give us feedback, even though they don't do it on YouTube. They love to do it on the side, but that's okay. I'll address that and
Yeah,
talk through. And they talk. They're like, and talk to us like, oh, when are you guys gonna cover like, what was it called, OTAs? And like, OTA, really? I mean, I can. If I was a beat writer, maybe I'll cover OTAs because I feel even on social media, yeah, social media big time because that's where a lot of people follow their teams and they have all these blogs. Like as a Bills fan, you have the Fantastic Group and different things like that, and then you have all the podcasts. But I do want to stick to the NFL for a second, right? So this is what the NFL does, by the way, right? They get the OTAs, all the pictures. Aaron Rodgers. Look, did you see that throw? You know, all the hype they're giving Aaron Rodgers right now and everything's like that, right? So, but I will stick to this. But I do want to stick to my team, the Bills, for a second, because I think I was ripping them apart for about 4 weeks ago. But I do want to apologize to Brandon Bean because you're doing well. Actually, I'm surprised that some of the moves is a little too late. Maybe I was being an armchair GM, but I like what you did with Ed Oliver with the contract, 4 years, 68 million. A lot of people that don't know football sometimes, again, they look at a number, but they don't understand. He's 18th highest paid this year, right?
yeah,
Which means next year when Quentin Williams gets his contract and all these other guys get contract, he's going to get into 20. So you might get a steal with that. And then I honestly I forgot Leonard Floyd was even on a damn. It was available. Big move, right? 7 million. Leonard Floyd, he has more sacks in 1 year than Boogie Basham, AJ Epinesa had in 2 years combined, right? So that's going to be good. But Brandon Bean, you're making some moves. So as Bills fan, I'll say this: please stay away from social media. Stay away from all the hype. It's OTAs. The main thing you gotta wait for is when the football season starts. Okay, I don't want to be flooded with, oh, did you see Josh Allen? Did you see it? No, I don't really give a shit. I don't care about OTAs and all that stuff, guys. Just get away from the media. But I will give Brandon Bean some credit. But I do want to add football. We'll talk football, guys, when football gets closer to training camp. Okay, that's
yeah,
when we'll start talking
yeah.
about
It's like, oh, did you hear about what happened today? I'm like, nothing is actually happening with football. Like,
it.
I watch every day, and they're talking about football like something new is happening. Nothing is happening. It's
Right,
OTA.
right, right.
Like,
Right.
what? Nobody. There's not trades happening. Like the Bills actually made a signing, which was great. So that is actually a move. But
Yeah.
most of the time, it's nothing.
The
Like,
D Hop rumors.
yes, which I was gonna use. I was thinking about talking about that with the Cowboys, basically saying that they're not gonna sign them, and um, not,
But what I was saying is everyone's like, oh, Aaron Rodgers. Today I saw something. Somebody sent me. Do you see how Aaron Rodgers passed? Yeah, that's great. He has no defense. He has nothing in his face.
yeah,
Everything. Let's talk when mini camp. And again, I'm not a training camp. I'm not a fan of training camp either. It's good to see what people do. But last year, I was told Isaac McKenzie was looking phenomenal. Do you even know who the hell he is, guys? I don't even know who Isaac McKenzie was. So it's hold your horses. Again, I'll tell people all the time, over and over again. Football does not start till week 6. Like because the first 4 weeks, they say the first 6 weeks is scripted. It's literally all scripted in training camp. Then teams get to fill you out. Then you got to start figuring stuff out. That's why you start seeing teams go down a deep edge. So wait till week 6, and then we'll talk about it more. Exciting news, right? I don't care about Josh Allen breaking up with his girl and dating somebody. I don't. Von is cool, and Stephon Diggs, and where's Stephon? He's not. We don't care. Okay, we don't care.
facts.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll definitely get in football. We'll be in heavy football mode, and you'll have this show be mostly football, which is fine. I still am gonna miss my basketball, and I will still figure out a way to throw basketball in there. because it's the
Oh,
off
hey,
all is
Sy-
short.
yeah, yeah. Syracuse, they're in the season. Syracuse might go. What's the name is back?
Yeah, Mints.
Mintz is back.
Yep, I'm very
Uh,
excited.
I think college basketball might be all right next year, but we can talk about that later on.
I agree, actually, because all the people that are coming back, I think it's going to be
Yeah.
better next year than it was this year.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so my final thought is really an outlier. So last week I tried to throw in a little bit on the U.S. soccer because I want to spend something different. Um, those boys lost to Uruguay 2-0. It was I mean, it was terrible. They gave an own goal. The guy kicked it in his own goal. Was one of the goals they scored, and then the other goal, like I don't even know what they were doing. It was just like a bad turnover. It's just I felt bad for those kids because they actually played pretty well and showed some hope. But anyways, we're not winning that one, so I'm not going to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is tennis, actually. So the French Open is on. I don't. I actually like tennis. Um, I always watch the majors. Um, my least favorite one is actually usually the French Open. I just don't like watching it on clay. It seems different. Also, the French, you know, the fans are kind of jerks too. Like watching them, like they're like screaming in between people's serves and stuff. I'm like, you guys are just, I mean, like there's etiquette. So I get annoyed watching them, but it's been pretty. It's been a pretty good tournament so far. So Jokic, just so you know, Novak Djokovic is, going for like the Grand Slam record, and he's in the semis, and he gets to go against. He's going to go up against Alcaraz, who is like 20 years old, and he's from Spain. So that's going to be must see TV if you like competition. That's going to be on Friday. Um, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think on the other side, I don't know. There's it's like Zverev and somebody else, and like the two Nordic guys. One guy's Rude and one guy's Rune, Ruud, and then Rune. One's from Denmark, and the other one's from Norway. Shout out to our boy that used to live in Norway. you know, the Norwegians on the map. But anyway, um, those guys are pretty decent actually. So I think one of whoever wins that's going to probably go to the final. But that Djokovic, Alcaraz is going to be a good final. And I, as a sports fan, I like watching high level competition. And tennis at this level, you get that. So it's rare in all sports to see people compete, but when you start getting in the semifinals of like majors, that's when you start to see people have to step outside of their comfort zone and do things different. So I'm really looking forward to that. I just want to give a shout out to tennis. I got some tennis players that listen to this and see how that
We
goes.
used to play back in
Yeah,
the day.
I used to play. Shout out to my boy, Mr. N. Beasy. We used to play every Friday, and I was in college. Every single Friday, I would play. And that was a long time ago. I won't tell you guys on YouTube how long ago that was because I'm dating myself. But that was fun. And actually, I recently got some lessons when I was in Costa Rica with a pro. So that was fun. So I kind of got the little itch again. And my youngest daughter, she asked me to take her out to play. So tennis has always been around for me. So yeah, I'm always, got my ear to the ground on tennis, but it's fun.
What's funny is that now I don't know if you're familiar with pickleball.
Yeah,
It's like
yes.
a
Actually, I
we
played
have
it
one in our,
first time. Sorry, what'd you say?
yeah, no, we have one literally in my neighborhood. I
Oh,
thought it
yeah.
was a tennis court, but it's right like right there.
So
And
I
I bought a pickleball table. I bought a pickleball, a bat, paddle, and ball and everything.
Oh man, we definitely, if when I come out to Houston, we'll, I'll definitely have to play. So I actually played for the first time when I was on my trip, where the same place where I got the lesson from the tennis pro. I actually played pickleball, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm a tennis guy. I don't want to play. It was pretty
Well,
fun, actually. It was fun.
it-
It was a good social event, so I enjoyed it.
it's taken. What I was saying was tennis is very hard. I
Yeah,
played tennis. I played doubles. Like actually, I played in what was it ninth grade.
great.
I
Yep.
could probably play a little bit more, but like it's tough. I love when people say, "Oh, tennis is not that hard." No, it is. You got a ball coming at you 70 miles per hour, 65 miles per hour, and you have to get it in play. It's hard, and then serving is one of the hardest things to do if you actually want to be competitive, right? You're not just hitting the ball over.
Right.
So then now they move to pickleball, which I get why it's a little bit more safer. You don't have to, everyone can play. But it's good. Tennis and the golf, man. When it's high level, like high level,
Hmm.
it's actually really, really good. Shout out to Rochester, New York for Oak Hill.
That's right.
Even
That's right.
the weather was shitty last week, typical
That's
Rochester.
terrible. That one rainy day, I was just laughing. I was like, "Who told them to pick Rochester at this time?" It was terrible.
Right.
Raining. Oh well, that was cool. It was really nice to see Oak Hill getting
Yeah.
a shout out. So
But it's good, yeah. So we got some sports. I actually want to go to a tennis match. I would love to go to US Open. I
and
mean,
that is what I'm going to be trying to do. And actually, City Open is we're going on tangent, but we're talking about tennis. City Open in the DC area, they just merged with another tournament that was in San Jose. So now the City Open is going to be one of the biggest tournaments in the United States. I mean, in on the tour that's not a major. So
oh
like
wow,
all the people are going to play now, like
nice.
all the women and men, and it's in DC. So I think I might have to check that out. It's the end of July, July 28th through like August 2nd. It's like right before, usually before US Open is one of the last ones. So I have to check that one out because I haven't gone to one a match yet either. All right. Well, thanks, Thomas. Another good episode. Glad we were able to get this in, and hope you guys are enjoying the NBA Finals. Enjoying your summer. Stay safe, and as we always say, subscribe. Give us some feedback. We would like feedback on YouTube, but it's all right. We'll take it
Right.
the other way. I know you guys are chickens. Not just joking.
And except for John. John always gets feedback.
Yeah,
But also like our video too. That
yeah,
helps.
that's true. That would really help if you like some of these videos. So please do that. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
All right. Bye.